Mind if I film it? I'm gonna go ahead and film it.
I'm sorry?
I say, y'all mind if I film it?
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
gonna go ahead and
ahead.
film it. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't
Flesh
hear
and
very
blood,
well,
flesh and
so.
blood. Okay, you good?
So at minimum, when you can sideboard in this, and it's good to keep a minimum of 60 cards. It's actually a requirement to keep a minimum of 60 cards. It's good to stay closer to that number of 60 in the deck. So this is this part, not counting here, because you're going to have more consistency in finding what you need. Okay. More cards in the deck is harder to find, but that is longer for you to get fatigued out if that is the scenario.
I don't know what that means.
Well, that just means play all the cards in the deck.
Okay.
What we're going to do now is we'll just play a practice game, and if you come in with other formats, so we're going to do sealed in a little bit, that's going to be a minimum of 30 cards, maximum of 40 cards, and that's just from what you open up in packs. Okay. So constructed means that you handpick out what you want and you put in there. That's everything you have.
Would this be considered like the standard mode? Or?
I would say yes.
Okay. And so sealed is more like starter mode?
Sealed is a limited format, meaning you're limited to what you get in that 6 packs that you have to open.
Right.
So both of you would start by, well actually, let's figure out who goes first. When you come up to start a game, technically only the hero is flipped over.
Okay.
And then all the other things are invisible, so you don't know what your opponent has, just in case you sideboard.
So should we flip those over, or?
It's fine. We're just learning.
Okay.
You would then, both of you can high roll to see who goes first. Feel free to, you can do that. So he got a 9. And 7. So you can choose whether you want to go first or second.
Is there an advantage?
There typically is an advantage. With this here, it changes per hero. I haven't really mastered what's best. It really depends what I draw yet. I'm still trying to figure her out.
All right.
I would say second.
Yeah. Watch you go.
All right. So what is
I'll see how a turn goes at least.
Is your hero card, which is your main card.
I got a 4 hand size, right?
Is the card that's revealed. We then flip over everything else.
Okay.
The hero card has on it how much your health is. So this indicates your health.
Okay.
Your intellect is this icon, and this indicates how many cards you draw up to. Okay. So at the end of your turn, you will always draw up to 4.
And you don't start with a hand?
You do start with the hand.
Oh, okay.
So you can actually go ahead and draw up to 4. This is not your max hand size. You can have any number of cards in your hand. But,
yeah, but I gotta run at like 6. No, 7. 7. I'm in another time zone, so 30 minutes and then, yeah, I guess you could jump in for me.
Yeah. That's all right. So, what will happen? We have over here going first. So Dash has an ability that she can bring an item into play to start. So I brought one in. So what this does is it gives +2 to each card that Dash boosts the first time each turn. And I will demonstrate what boosting is. So, looking at your hands. So we're probably starting off at the point, what we want to do, we'll play this 0 to 60 down. So, you can see that is your cost.
Cost 2, got no go again.
Yep, it has 0 on it.
Shouldn't I play go again though?
This typically does not have go again, and you have 1 action point. However, Dash has the ability of boost, which is, as an additional cost to play it, banish the top card of your deck. If it's a Mechanologist card, so you flip it over, which it is, everything in there is Mechanologist.
Okay.
This gets go again. So
nice.
That's an ability that Dash has. So this goes down, this ticks down because you boosted. And you can just put your banished card right underneath your deck. So this is coming at you for 5. What's really good is that Dromai blocks well. So when we're looking at an attack, all of our attack is always right down here. So this little number by the arrowhead type thing, spear. Okay. So that's the attack. He has +2 on it. So this is its base, that's its modifier, and this is how much it would defend for. But,
Okay.
Ignore the defense because he's attacking. Now, you're gonna pay attention to what you have.
Okay.
So you have 3 attacks and a defense reaction. Now what I would do.
How do I know that?
Oh, sorry, not 3 attacks, but three cards, 3 actions and a defense reaction. So defense reaction always says it at the bottom. So this is the defense reaction. Yeah. These are the placeholders for the dragons.
Right, and so you call these what?
These are just actions.
Okay.
And typically everything says it at the bottom, but like I said, this deck is a little different.
Okay.
Good question. I'm gonna have to figure out. What we're gonna have happen now is he's coming in, and that is coming in for 3. So
Because this is attack 3.
3 and +2. Sorry, it's coming in for 5. So I would choose one of these 3. So just because I know these dragons, I didn't shuffle this deck well at all.
Okay.
Let's block 3, and then you have an ability on this, which is Quell.
That's a
So
proxy card?
I'm sorry?
So is that a proxy card?
Yes, it's a proxy card for one of these.
Okay.
Because they're 2-sided cards,
Okay.
they can't be in the deck. Hey, how's it going?
Just fine. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Awesome.
You could probably tag team in on this if you wanted to. He's trying to learn.
Oh yeah.
And I'm trying to.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna put you to work. So then we're
Okay,
gonna
so that's block for 3, so it's
Yep.
still for 2.
2 damage coming over.
I like your taste.
So
Going with the
we have this
mechanologist
Quell ability.
there.
Oh
This is
yeah,
going
there
to
she
stop 1 damage.
There she does.
She has an ability as well that whenever you pitch a red card, create an ash. And I haven't talked about pitching yet, but I'm going to do that.
Oh
on
yes,
the
you
next
got the Dromai right there.
His stuff isn't really costly.
It's just flashy. You just
Both
plow
of
right through
these,
it.
all the
Okay,
summons are
crazy.
red.
Okay.
But
So
the dragons.
So discard?
1. So this is an actually discard.
Okay.
This is going to be pitch. So this just goes right beside your deck. So this calls 1. So then you would take 1 damage.
Okay.
So also when she uses an ability that pitches the red, it creates an ash. So that is going to go there. So 1 comes through. And then that was banished and it was a mechanologist card. So maybe Alex, do you want to talk with him what you think he would do next?
Sure. All right. So this is our board state right now.
Yep, this is the first turn as well. So
Very first turn, and he threw this attack or threw it as a block,
he threw it at attack. He threw
Okay.
the attack, blocked, and we quelled.
and we boosted into it, so we got go again.
Yep,
Perfect. And the Teklo Pounder fired off on this to make it a 5.
you got it.
All right. Sounds great. So the thing about Dash is she recklessly plows forward. You want to throw as much in 1 turn as you can, and just kind of completely stretch them out here.
I'm going to do that.
So I like the idea. You got a couple of 0 costs here.
I like the fab
But this one can really size up a next one. So why don't we throw this one? It costs 2, which means we're gonna have to throw one of those yellows into our pitch.
Okay.
Have we talked about pitch yet?
I mean, I played
I was
before,
gonna
kind
wait.
of forgot
It's
about
messed
them,
up
but
with 0.
you.
Sure. So this one is worth 2 because it's got the 2 resource symbols up there. So we're gonna pitch that to pay for this.
Pitching it. Oh yeah,
Pitch
pitching
is
right
right
there.
alongside. It's gonna go to the bottom of your deck later. So this is saving you, setting you up for your end game.
Oh.
And we want to boost this so we can keep our turn going. So
Oh,
right
yeah.
off the top of the deck, throw it into the banish
And
zone.
it's a mechanologist.
It's almost going to be mechanologist every time. So that's perfect.
In that deck it is.
This one is lined up, so we're throwing 2 damage.
All right.
It's
So
more of a nuisance block than anything. 2's not much, but he's got to do something or your next one's coming in hot.
all of it indicate, because this is an indication, all of these block for 3. This one is it says at the bottom it's a defense reaction.
Okay.
So typically every time we do an attack or there's some kind of dance here, it goes by attack, whoever's the attacker, and then defense. So just like on this card, we play the defense down. He has a spot to play an attack reaction. You're not really, I don't think there are any in that deck, but then you have a spot to play defense reactions after that. So you don't defend with defense reactions, you play defense reactions as well. This defense reaction just happens to be 0,
Okay.
so
That's
that's
the cost of playing the card.
that's good. Yep, there's a cost to play it. So since
Okay.
it's a defense reaction, you have to play it at this point. So going in with this defense reaction, we're going to play that down
Okay.
and block is 2. And that has an ability too. When it's defending an attack with 2 or less, you draw a card when the combat chain closes. So
Okay.
this is our combat chain that we've made. So we did the first attack, and it just stays out here. The second attack, that was blocked out. So
All right.
there's a third attack.
Let's throw that third one out there.
Well, I mean, that didn't hit though, did it?
It did not. So we're not getting the bonus off of this.
Okay.
We still got the attack. And this time around, we know we don't have anything further to play. Our hand's gone. So we're not going to bother boosting because we don't want to destroy any more of the deck than we have to.
2 costs,
And this one blocks for 3, and
0
the
cost.
first turn only, both players are going to drop to a full hand. So we know we're going to drop to a full hand anyway at the end of this turn.
The 0
So
cost,
we're
of course,
just
you don't
gonna
have to pitch
block it
anything, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
On the subsequent turns, you have to balance whether you want to block versus whether you want to play the next turn.
out. Yeah.
Okay.
So that would be, once that's blocked out, so we're going to attack, defense. He has a spot to react, which
I got nothing in
really
there.
going to be in that deck. And then defense reactions, which you don't have any cards or anything anymore. So that combat chain, what happens in the priority goes back to him. He would
Okay.
then pass priority because he has nothing to do, and you have nothing to do.
Well, I mean, I
this
could
goes
use the
up.
weapons though, right?
So the weapon, though, is going to cost us 2 to
Two.
load it.
Okay.
Basically, this gun doesn't cost anything to shoot it, but we have
Yeah.
to have loaded it at some point beforehand.
Cool.
So usually you're going to do that when you got extra resources at the start of your turn. That way it's lined up for at the end of your chain, then you just fire it off.
Cool.
So at this point, we're going to scrap everything that's up there on the chain. It all goes to the
We just
discard
take
up
this
here.
and we put it in our graveyard right above there.
Okay.
And
This
then-
is the
we've
could
got
come back
pitch,
later. This is
graveyard,
the never
pitch.
coming back.
Oh yeah.
You got it. So we didn't talk about
At
it
the
much,
end of
but
your
the
attack
pitch-
phase, you draw 4 cards up.
Yep, the pitch goes right underneath your deck.
Okay. At the end of every turn.
Yep, at the end of every turn.
So we can pick 4
yours
new
are
ones and
his.
start
So
planning.
then you draw 4.
Okay.
So this is where kind of it starts to get to a
So many
grind.
things, so many things.
So both of us drew up that turn.
All right.
He can choose.
So
to
you'll notice
utilize
this
that
card
turn
does not
different
have
ways.
any defensive use
So,
at all.
because he knows
Not
you're
an
gonna
option
draw
for that
up.
card.
If he has something like, maybe
So
I'm
gotta
not gonna
attack with
get
it.
through everything.
You're either going
You
to
can
play it
kind
out
of
on your
build
turn.
up
It's an
this
item, so it's
turn
going to sit on the field
to
just
kind of
like
swing
this
back
does.
at a later
Yeah.
point.
Or you use it for pitch value.
And that setup really is kind of a key point to like maybe how you want to play that hero.
So
But
this hand is
going
looking
into
like we're not able
so
to put
Dromai,
much aggressive pressure out. You've
all
only
the
got these
dragons
2
that she has,
attacks.
The invocation cards.
So the
they
most
have
that you
to
can
be
do is
summoned
load up
to
your
an
gun,
ash.
throw those 2
So all
attacks.
the
It's not a lot of
dragons have to
pressure
have
we're
a
putting
target
out.
ash.
This might be a
Choose,
turn where we want to plan to
item.
block them out,
Turning ash into
put
a
out our
dragon.
item,
And that's why we
and
pitched
call
one
it a
to 12
setup for
oh,
later.
Actually,
so when he starts coming
the
at us,
12,
let's
that's
prepare to
gone.
block out this time.
Oh.
but that's why we used that is just it made an ash.
Okay.
So we didn't need it for anything else other than to make an ash. That's why we 12.
Alright.
So we're going through here. Just want to see what
If we
dragons
can
are.
hang on to a second card,
I'm sorry, because you don't
we
know
could
it.
pitch it to load the barrel so that in the future we don't have to worry about that cost.
You're a guy.
Okay, so
Okay.
But our number one
whenever
priority
there's a
is
cost,
to
the
ruin his turn
placeholders
by
have all
blocking.
the costs on them.
Cool.
So you're gonna
Cost
see
is
that's
that
a
first number.
Yep. So you're gonna see that's a 0,
Okay.
and then
Attack. Yeah.
that's the health of it. No wait.
I mean, should we try to hold on to this one?
Sorry, this
You
is
know,
Toter.
which one you hold on to doesn't matter too much. This one we're going to put
I
in
don't wanna
play,
get it
and it can't
personal.
block anyway, so
Alright,
that's the
so-
only thing to do with it.
how this works.
But otherwise,
Put it on
it's-
play
the
next
zero, we
turn
don't
or
have to
whatever.
pay
When
anything
you,
to play
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yep.
But
But otherwise, we
everything
want to
we do-
load the gun, which costs us 2
we're gonna talk-
resources.
We have to do a pitch
Any of
to
the other
play.
cards would do that. So
okay.
it doesn't
You have
matter
to
which one
play
we
pitch
hang
first
on to.
and then pitch to it.
Okay, so you
The order
can.
would
My
be,
personal
would be the
preference,
dragon I'd recommend.
I would keep the 0
So we
to
would play
60
near
because
guy
late in the
now.
game I
We
want
go
as
ahead
much
and play
aggression
them.
as possible.
And then we would have to
So if I'm
pitch
going to
to
pitch a
play
card
his cost. So I
that
would
I'm going to
actually
see later in the
choose
game, that's a nice
this one.
choice.
Okay, so you
Especially
can
with
load
its
the
0
gun on your defensive turn.
No, we're going to do that when it
So-
comes around to our turn.
Okay.
that dragon
And we're going to
0.
save
I
the
like
gun.
that
Now that
dragon
it's
a little bit
loaded,
more than I like
we
that
can just
one.
hold it for
So
any
that- and
future
that's
turn
the
at all
cost,
and
right?
fire it
That
then.
is what you get
Yeah.
from pitching it. So you see those have one spot on them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Actually,
Dash has a
you have
lot
a
of ability
good
to
card for it
store
this time.
things. Most
So
people
this
have
is
to
a red
pay when
card.
they
This
do
is
it.
gonna be the same.
Okay.
So you
It
can
has
kind of
one
store it
those
up ahead.
circles.
You're building up your board
And it's
state.
also red.
You load
What
your
is that
gun.
circle?
It's all ready for a big turn
So
where you can pop
those
off a lot of
mean How
damage.
much you get?
Cool.
How many resources you get from pitching?
Okay.
So at max you get 3 resources from pitching a card.
Okay.
So we're playing that, and we pitch.
We're playing
We're gonna
that.
pitch this one.
Okay. Yeah.
This gives us
Watching this dragon
one
deck's a
resource.
little bit weird because he has all these
And
representative
you
cards
count
that are going to
those.
turn into the dragons that are all sitting over there.
Yeah.
It's
So
purely
I
a matter
have
of
them set off to the
convenience.
side. These
Okay.
are
But it makes it
all
weird when he plays them out because they just look like nothing.
double-sided.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's why you can't like just have them in your hands.
Oh, I see.
It's fun because then person knows like,
People
oh, I
would
know,
know,
yeah. And then you don't want to take them out of the sleeve and flip them each time.
Right.
So this is a funky deck, but this is one that will be in the sealed event.
Okay.
So you did summon a dragon.
All right.
So the ability on Dromai
Like
is
it better than
whenever
Magic?
you, pitch
I
a red
actually have
card,
not played
create an
Magic,
ash.
barely.
So this
I
dragon
play
goes
enough to
the
know the
ash,
basics of it,
but
but
you pitched a red to play
that's
this.
one card game I missed on the way.
Okay,
So
do you like it better than
you
clicks?
also make an ash.
I do.
If you've
Okay.
played a
Yes.
red card this
Yeah,
turn,
better than clicks.
dragons in control have go again. All the dragons are red.
Now, I've been playing
Probability.
clicks
Not
for
a
20
dragon
years
that is
now,
red.
and I like this one
But
better.
that's going to be
Okay, good old
essentially
probability
red is
control,
synonymous with
yeah.
has one circle color again. The pitch value is the lowest.
So if you played a red card this turn, the dragons you control have go again.
Man, you ever tried the
So if you attack with
universes,
this
the
dragon,
the
you
My
do something
Hero
else.
game?
Okay.
So
Actually, if it's an anime game, the only one I ever played was Dragon Ball Z.
With the dragons?
yep,
Okay.
you got it. So you can
Well,
do
I mean,
everything.
UFS,
There's
I think
so
it's pretty
many
similar
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
to the Flesh and Blood,
So
but a lot of
yeah.
people,
there's a
yeah.
keyword on it called Phantasm.
What I like best about this game
but
is the three
with,
purposes of every card.
this-
I think it
this
makes
ignores
interesting
it.
decisions.
I'll get to Phantasm.
Oh,
And
yeah.
everything's your
a little bit.
resource,
Okay.
your blocks, or your attacks.
So
Oh, yeah.
we're gonna attack with
All
the
right.
mirror guy. He's coming in for 2.
Okay, so we want to just simply block that out, and let's throw this one at it. This one has less other uses later in the game. So if we're talking about just pitching and blocking anyway, I don't want to keep that card. So
Okay,
we'll throw
so-
that down as our block.
You don't think that one has
Pitch
any
this
uses?
right here?
Oh my
Not
God.
late in the game, no.
Okay, so we're that's
So
a
we're
0
blocking for
cost.
3. He was only coming in for 2, so that takes care of that attack.
Okay, so this one has no pitch cost, right?
So when you play a card on the defensive, basically what you're saying is, I'm ignoring everything about this card, and I'm just using this card as defense.
Okay, that's
In
how it
almost all circumstances, that means it's effectively a blank card that blocks for 3.
works. Okay,
And
gotta
so we
remember
make a
that.
combat
Okay.
chain like we did the last time.
Okay.
We have an attack, defense.
Okay.
This has go again because his ability. So everything you do has go again. Or all the dragons have go again. Not
Mostly
everything,
just let
sorry.
them work out what they're doing and why it works,
So
and we'll just
next,
do our
we're gonna
end
play
for
this
now.
one.
Ooh.
Pitch that one.
Okay, so pitch
So
that one.
we play first.
Oh, you played it. Before
Play
you-
first, and then
Okay.
pitch.
Okay, what?
So
Yeah,
illusionists
play.
are capable
Yeah,
of
but
coming
why?
in with these huge attacks
I
for
don't
pretty
know
low
why.
resource
Okay.
cost.
It's
Okay.
always
So this is a
technically
7
play first
coming
and
at
then
us
pitch
right
for
now.
the resources.
Okay.
The
You can't
downside
actually,
is
in this
if we
game,
block it with something
pitch
that has
for
6
nothing.
power
So, like,
or
if you
more,
wanna get a card out
so
of your hand,
actually this is a
you
case
can't
where
do
we
that.
look at this
Okay.
side as well.
Which
Okay.
is maybe
If the
good and
card
bad
we
thing.
block it with has
Yeah,
a power of
6 or
6 or more,
Right. So this is coming
it
in for
shatters
7.
his attack, and it doesn't matter that we were only blocking for 3, the
And
whole thing is
You
done.
get an axe.
Okay, so,
So we
can
gotta
we
watch
boost
for
this?
those. None of this is going
So
to work
now,
for that, but
Phantasm
we got
is
to watch
actually
as we
a
got
thing
cards coming through. If we happen across an attack with a 6, there's a golden opportunity for us to just
Okay,
ruin his
shatter
whole
the
turn.
attack.
6 or more attack. So even though he's not attacking, if he has a strong attack, it pops it.
Yep.
Um,
If it's not illusion.
Yeah. So you have really cheap stuff that can throw out really big, but he has ways to combat it.
All right, so we're just going to throw one block card onto it to trim the damage a little bit, stop the bleeding somewhat. But that's only a 3 block. He's dealing 7. We're
So
still going to
take 4
take 4.
damage.
That's fine.
All right. So then
We're
we go
playing the
through
long
fourth.
game here.
So we look through. There's nothing more that we're going to do this turn. This dragon stays out. This moves to your graveyard.
Is
And
it
you're
destroyed?
We're going to clean up our block cards.
it's
They
not
all get
destroyed, but it
discarded.
goes in the combat chain. I guess. it
No,
is
we do
technically
not draw
destroyed.
up on the
only
defensive.
ask because
This
there's
is the
an
exchange.
effect
Is
when
you've got to, when you defend,
the
you're
destruction
draining
is,
your attack
Phantasm.
capability to come back at him. It's only
It
after you
goes to
attack that you
graveyard
draw
is
up.
really the term that.
So this is our setup turn. We prepare for the future.
Oh.
So let's
Now,
wait till he draws up his hand and he's ready for
Talking
us.
about the pitch,
Cool.
this isn't going to matter because we're just practicing at this point. But you can order your pitch how you want and then place it on the bottom of your deck.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you see something like, I want to come to this first. So if
Sure,
you're really
yeah.
big brained, then you can go through with that.
He's talking
But for
big
now-
brain strategies with him already.
Yeah. But
Don't worry,
you
I'm
can
not listening.
you just put that on the bottom of your deck.
All right, cycle him, draw up.
So
We're ready to show
good
'em
and bad things. here.
Nothing.
And
Nothing.
we have to talk about
It's
a
all
little bit of
planning
what
for the
we've
future.
done.
We're going to scare him for what we're
We
going to
didn't do
do.
as much
Set up
damage to him
turn.
as we wanted
Okay.
with those 2 cards. However, we did strip 2 cards out of his hand.
Okay.
So that's less he can do to us this turn.
Okay.
All right, so on this turn, we're going to load the gun.
Load the gun, spin 2,
Yep, so we're going to pitch this.
0 to 60.
This gives us 3 resources. We're spending 2 of them, so we got 1 resource left over if we had another use for it.
So how do we indicate the gun's loaded?
We're going to
Dice.
put something on it, and then you'll see when we load it, this action that puts a counter on it has go again. That means we get to do something else. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put this into play.
Then
Just anywhere down here. We got a board state. That's unusual, but it's something the dash does. The only spot we don't want to put it is directly underneath her.
okay.
This
Oh
slot
yeah,
is
that's the arsenal. Yeah.
Yep. So anywhere else will be just fine.
All right.
Now this card gives us resources in the future. That means more of the cards from our hand are going to fire off as attacks, less of them spent on pitching. So that's all that we're doing on our turn. The last thing we're going to do, cycle that to the bottom, draw back up to 4. Gave them some breathing room, but we're ready for the future now.
So you can see that they've used that turn. They didn't attack. So you have all the cards in your hand that you can use. However,
So I can't
All
draw
right,
more?
so this is looking pretty. You see how none of this costs us anything at all except for this item?
Oh yeah.
So
what happens?
What we're gonna
now
be
is
able to
you wanna
do-
get cards out of his hand because if he has cards in his hand, he's going to attack.
at the start of the turn, the Tekla core is
So
going
we can put
to
in
take
a
1
situation
counter off of this.
to use
It's
it.
going to give us 2
So
resources
looking at
to
your
spend
hand a
this
little
turn.
bit,
Okay.
That's going to pay for this at the end. But what we're
Alright.
going to do is for nothing, we're going to drive
So
this,
this is a really
into
good
this,
dragon.
into
Actually,
this.
this one.
We're going to boost every one of them. We're going to cap it off with the plasma barrel shot, which is 1 damage plus 1 for every boost we've done.
He has items.
Oh
out.
yeah.
And we're going to come in for what? 1 on the first one, 2 on the second, 3 on the third, and then pop the barrel shot for 4 to finish it off. It's going to be a big wide turn.
10 damage.
Oh, and the Tekla pounder is going to mean the first one comes in for 3.
Okay, so it's like a 13-pointer.
And we're not going to get it out
But
anytime
you were looking for Nirvana Tool before?
Oh yeah.
Okay, this is real. They were like, yeah, someone's looking for you. Every time I was there,
Yeah,
you were
okay.
around.
What's that? What's that, man?
play that.
Yeah, I'm always checking out the channel.
You do? Oh, that's awesome, man.
Hell yeah.
Like, when you came by today and they were like, he's not here, I was literally at the blue tables playing Ascension Tactics.
Okay, okay.
I was like, what did you tell me? I would have just walked over and said hello to him.
Oh yeah.
But you got your own channel where
So
Yeah, I gave it to the homie, but he's gonna give it to you, but I'll give you another one though.
Oh, okay, cool.
So we talked, remember what's been
There you
talking
go,
about the
that's
other
it.
card?
vaguely.
Nah, of course, Nirvana Tool.
That's awesome, man. I didn't know like
Well,
anyone
look.
outside of our clique like usually just watches these.
So,
I mean, yeah, I'll be over there. I'll be watching.
Awesome, man. Nice meeting you.
Man, nice meeting you.
so that's the
Man, I guess next time or something.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of
abilities
shoot
tend
messages
to have
online.
when they're
Yes, yeah.
vulnerable,
Go.
etc. Now he can also attack these dragons, but if he's attacking the dragons, he's not attacking you. So there are different ways to think about this.
Okay.
First, since you don't have phantasms on this, I would attack with glory. That threatens him and puts him in a position. He has 2 items out. He probably doesn't want you to take
We
his
don't care
items.
what he throws at us.
Don't care.
Taking
So-
it all this time.
Taking it all.
All right.
We're gonna
We're
attack
going to
with
eat some
glory
damage so we can come back
for
hard.
4.
Cool.
He's going to be put into a position where he's probably going to block
Give it
that.
some thinking time now.
Okay. Maybe this one. Maybe this one. I think we'll just eat it.
What is it?
I think we'll just eat it. What kind of effect does he have?
His ability is whenever he hits a hero, gain control of an item they control.
I don't know.
If
We
you
might have to block
do
that one.
not, Draw a card.
Yeah, let's think about this.
You want to take that out?
I mean, it seems
They're
like
not
I
gonna
wanna-
let you do it.
Throw the
No, I wouldn't
T-bone
think so.
and slide up your Tekla Foundry Heart.
Yep.
Okay.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to grab one of our equipments with a defense value. We're also going to put that up there to help with the block.
Hey.
So now between the 2 of them, we're blocking out for 5.
So some of the equipment does have a defense value on it. This one has 2. You can see 2 here. These also have keywords, so you can see like blade.
Now
break,
for using
that
it to
means
block,
if
we're
you
going to put a
offend with it,
-1
it's
counter on
gone.
it afterwards. So
Temper
next time around, it's only
means
blocking for
once
1.
it goes to
Okay,
0,
go.
so it gets a -1 counter each time you use it. Once it goes to 0, it's gone.
Got it.
This one has Battle Worn, so it's great that we had all 3 out here. Battle Worn is, once it goes to 0, it stays in play. Nothing special, it just can't block anymore. So it blocked that out. We got a card out of their hands, so that was a good move for us. So now we look at our hand, see what we have ready.
We're going to have to adjust our attack pattern now based on this block out. Our turn isn't going to be quite as wide, and we may want to cap it off instead of using the plasma barrel
Let's
shot.
go ahead.
We
first,
may want to
let's
finish
attack
by
the
spending
new
our
guy.
2 resources on the
These all have
pounder.
go again on them
and have
because
that
of our
ready for the
ability.
future.
You
Okay,
invoke
yeah.
Then our
some
gun's
red
still
card.
going to be loaded.
So
Okay.
let's
And the
attack
next
with
time
new
we
guy.
start off with a
See what they
+4
do.
on our first attack. So
Nice.
it's going to look really fine in the future.
Nice. Same guy, huh?
This one, though, we're not worrying about.
Okay, that guy.
Just go
All right,
Mirror
take
guy's
it two.
not worth it. We're taking 2.
Taking 2. All right. So we're back at your hand here. So we have a situation. This is actually really good if he takes a turn to set up, but as a
We're hoping we ran him
learning
out of gas
point,
at this point.
we're going to do this because we're probably not going to get a full game here before we start seal.
Yep.
Once you finish your turn,
Seal
if
starts
there are cards
at
left
the
in
top of the
your
hour.
hand,
Yeah.
you can take a
Okay.
card from it and stick it in your arsenal. Arsenal is the spot directly below the hero. If something goes in your arsenal, it can only be played from arsenal. It can't be pitched for resources. Only played.
Okay.
So if you put that in your arsenal, it's stuck there until it's played.
Okay.
So we're going to turn it face
You
down.
get
face
4
down,
packs
so
in the
they can
seal.
see what it is.
I see.
And
I
then
wanna say
that is going to end your turn.
And
It's
this stays
3.
in my hand.
Yep, that
packs.
stays in your hand.
And
Now, since you were
what
the
position are these in?
Are you
I
playing
just
in the
put these
sealed?
here
Nah, I gotta run after this.
Are
Yeah.
That's
still
fair, man.
active, but-
Yeah,
Okay.
you've already attacked with them, so
Right. Okay.
All right, good.
we're
So
done
now,
this turn.
end of
We wore him
turn,
out, he's
this
done.
goes under.
You got it.
All
He doesn't need me. He's got it.
right.
All right, so we're going to put this back over here. We're going to toss this in the
And then you
discard.
draw up because it was
Okay.
the
This
end of
is
your
going to
attack
come
phase.
down
Up to
by
3.
1.
Yep.
But now it
Or,
gives
I
us
mean,
2
up to
resources
4
we got
total,
ready to
right?
use this turn.
Nice.
Okay, so knowing our first attack gets a +2, in this game, getting over 3, if you get to 4 attack on something, it's a sweet spot because it breaks over. Almost every card in the game blocks for 3.
Okay.
So if we can lead off with a +2 on a 2, that makes this more threatening.
So
We
we're
can
leading
also
out
put
with
it
them?
on the 3, either one. Whichever one you want to lead with is okay.
All right, leading with 0 to 60.
All right, so we're going to boost off the top of the deck, and it's Mechanologist, of course, so we got go again.
Go
This
again.
is coming in, thanks to this guy, this is coming in for 5.
Yeah. So at this spot, you would look at your hand. So we know there's a card here we can play on our turn. We also have a card that's not red for once. We have a blue one.
Ah,
So that
okay.
pitches for 3. So that means if you were to play that and pitch here, you'd have 2 resources left over to play either of
Okay,
these
our
2
next
cards
attack
if
does
they were to
2,
cost
is that
2.
right?
Okay, so
The next one in our hand?
Yep, you will too.
All right,
Swear
no,
we're gonna throw him a
sorry, not on
curveball,
your turn.
okay?
Okay.
We're looking ahead to our
When you
attack
play that one, I
because
want you
our
to target
defense
his golden dragon
is what's
instead of
gonna get
targeting
used right
him.
now.
Oh,
So
okay. That's
He's
an
not
easy-
allowed to block for
When
his
we play-
dragons, and
when
that
we put
dragon
a
has a
card down
health
to
of
defend,
2.
Right.
we're
Which means
not
we're going
gonna
to take it
have
off
that
the
to
board
attack.
and he won't threaten
Right.
our items
So
anymore.
we think
Nice,
about ahead
nice.
on our attack turn. Am I going to do more damage? Is it safer to block this turn? He's
And
not
then we're
really
gonna arsenal
threatening
this, huh?
anything,
No, we're going
on
to play
hit.
that one out as our last action.
So
Okay.
I would say
That'll
at this
use our
point,
2
he's coming
resources so
for
they don't get
5.
wasted. And then our next turn,
I
we're going to have
would-
Tekla Pounders up the wazoo. So our
Nice.
first attack's just going to slam them.
I would choose to take
Okay.
5. I would say no defense on that.
Okay.
So
So they're
we
not
go
blocking it
active
out.
reactions,
We're going to
and
do
then
5 damage to him off of this one. We're ready to go into the next attack.
Dang. So 0 drop.
And where are we targeting that?
The dragon,
We're hitting the gold dragon with that too.
Kaloria.
Now we're going to boost. It's Mechanologist, so we got go again. We get our action back.
So the allies, this is really specific to Dromai. There are a couple other allies in the game, but they're not very. You won't see them really.
Okay.
So with the allies, they can't defend. Nothing can be done there. He's attacking the ally, so the ally just dies.
So that's
Okay.
the end of that threat.
Okay. Now I can't defend.
Nope, can't defend.
All right, so now we roll into playing out our next Teklo Pounder. That's to use the 2 resources we had there.
All right.
It's going to join this down here. We got 3 counters on it. And that's where our turn ends.
Items.
So we're going to clean this up. Goes to the graveyard. You can draw your next hand of 4.
So the nice thing
Wonderful.
about this, he's dealing damage, but he doesn't have a lot of hit effects. So we just have to know that if he has, with this deck, unfortunately,
All right.
well, we broke my deck.
It's
That one's
another
just gonna
good
have numbers,
wide turn if we can get it, but we got this
threaten,
stupid
you
card
gotta
that we
take an
can't
item or
block
draw a
with.
card.
Okay.
So
hit
again,
abilities and damage,
we're either
you're
going to
have
just stomach everything he's throwing at us to make the most of our next opportunity to attack, and that's
You
probably
know,
the way
I'll
I'd
take
go.
5 damage, but I'm going to hit you with this 2 attack.
But this
that
stupid blue
I'll do
card is messing us
X, Y,
up a
Z
little
with
bit.
this
It's
hit.
not what I
Okay.
wanted to see in here. I wanted a 4th attack.
So
Man.
now it's your attack phase.
Yep.
So we're going to look at what we have.
But right now our board state's looking really beautiful.
So
Oh,
This
yeah,
is
a lot
going to
of
give us
items.
2 resources at the start of our turn. This is going to add 4 to our very first attack of the turn. and we can cap off a
Right, it's
long
rare to
chain
do.
with this. It's going to
Let's
do a
go
nice amount
ahead
of damage.
and play that one.
Nice.
And just we'll pitch all the others to summon that one.
What? And so, oh, because it's 5.
Yep.
Okay. So pitching all that.
All right, so his whole hand is getting pitched to pay for this because he's bringing out a big dragon.
So you would technically make 2 Fs.
What?
Because you pitched 2 red cards in there.
Those are
Yeah,
allies,
right.
right?
Yes, they are.
Those
So
are like ones or something. One attacks.
Well, this is a big ally.
Okay.
This
So
guy's got a
5.
5. But he paid for it. It cost him 5 resources. His whole
so
hand went into it.
the nice thing about Tumble Tide. So this is going to vary depending on the hero that you're against. Whenever it attacks a hero, reveal the top 2 cards of your deck. If 1 or more red cards are revealed this way, put that many -1 counters on an equipment they control. Then, if it has 0 defense, destroy it. So,
He's going to mess with our stuff over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
yep. So
So
that's what I was
would
talking.
attack.
Yep. Tumble Tide would attack. So the first thing we're gonna do is reveal our cards.
Yeah.
That's a red card, which is an invoke, and that's a red card. So we can put -2. We don't have 2 block on anything, but this is probably their most useful equipment.
If I'm being honest, he's already done the worst of it here. The attack is just numbers.
Yeah.
I don't care. Let him hit us.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna destroy that and come in for 5.
Taking a 5.
Take 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a situation where if they leave this dragon out,
We're going to watch for
Um,
opportunities if we
kinda
draw into
take
a
this
6
time
damage
to
attack.
manage the board state how you
That's
want it.
the one we want to shatter when he's
They're probably
attacking
going to
with
go
it.
for you.
That's
If they go for
Such
the
a
dragon,
big
since it has
tempo
5
swap
health,
when we shatter one of his big
that's probably
dragons
going to
like
take a couple
that.
of attacks.
Okay.
So,
So then we're
but
going
we're
to
not in
attack
that
with this
position
dragon.
yet.
That's it.
Oh, right. Okay.
Oh, I'm
He's
sorry.
running.
Hey, how's it going?
Does anybody know why?
We're going to take this 2 as well.
Does anybody know why LSS didn't actually do anything?
I do not know.
First off, they're in New Zealand.
No,
but that's not a great
They
excuse.
launched the double decks here.
Honestly, the limited amount of feedback that we've gotten, because we did talk with them about possibly getting support in,
So-
is that their priority right now is on the local game store. And an
Oh,
event
yeah.
like this
Definitely not gonna.
potentially draws away from local game stores. I don't think it's a great.
That's BS.
I don't think it's a
because
great
They have
perspective.
their columns and stuff all over the place.
They run their own events. They don't want to be at someone else's event. I think that's what it amounts to.
My thought is that they could clearly
2 damage. So you can knock that down to 27.
27.
All right.
Honestly, it's
All right, that's all we got.
I don't know what I'm doing.
It's hard to get, you know, when they
I
run
mean,
events,
it's a lot of stuff to it.
Right? For real. Okay, so I think that I'm out of cards, so I'm pretty sure that means that that's
just
my
graveyard.
turn. So I think. all
No,
those-
so you keep your allies.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yep, they're still in
I
play.
definitely don't know what I'm doing.
You're all good. Don't worry about it.